Yo, what is good, family? Hope y'all are having an amazing day. Today's video, we're gonna break down the setup we had in the last live analysis session with the private group of students in English. It was this last Friday at the opening of London session, as you guys know. So let's go straight over it at 9 a.m., 8:59 a.m. Straight away at what I was looking at when I was opening this session with the students. Basically, at this point in time, we had a very few amount of options, and basically we are able to spot where are we coming from. We are coming from this bearish structure, what we can see that is only a bearish trend. So basically, I started to break it down since the market started going up. We had low, high, higher low, higher high, bearish BOS, and then market did this higher high. So basically, oops, nice. So basically, this was the last bullish range. Internally, we can also spot this internal high, higher low, and higher high to then start this also internal structure high, low, lower high, and lower low. Perfect. So with this being said, now we can say, all right, at the opening of the session, which is exactly at 9 a.m., what do we have? And basically, we had this last high as the level for a bullish break-off structure, and this level as the level for a bearish rule of the third impulse. As you guys can see, we have first impulse, first pullback, second impulse, second pullback that gets confirmed with this bullish candle. Now, with this structure, now we can say, all right, let's set up our buy stop and our sell stop. And that was our main generic range. But as you guys know, a lot of times market in wide ranges like this, it starts to give internal structures where it basically just creates an internal range with a smaller invalidation size and gives you a shorter setup. So that's basically what we had in this case. All right, this was the moment where I started to think, all right, this is going in a smaller range. Why? Because we can clearly see here low, high, higher low, higher high. Now let's stop right here. Why is this a higher high? First thing, because this is a higher low. Now why is this a higher low? Because this candle is not breaking previous candle's high. Black point period. Now, why is this a higher high? Because this high is a high higher than this high. Simple. Now we have this structure, right? If you're new and you're seeing in this, you can clearly check that this is an objective way to look at market structure. The problem with a lot of traders is that they look at market structure in different ways without clear objective rules. And that's pretty much what you have in my YouTube playlist about M5R. All right, all you have is objective ways to mark up the structure. So with this being said, now we can spot the new range. All right, now we can buy at this high, all right, or sell at this low. Why? This low is basically a higher low, therefore we will have to go for a bearish BOS. Fantastic. One candle makes the high, a different candle will potentially make the BOS. Now this high is a higher high, therefore we will have to go for a bullish rule of the third impulse. We have to check that we have two impulses and two pullbacks. We have the first impulse, first pullback, second impulse. In the second pullback, where is it? Is this wick. Now, why is the wick the second pullback? We are following the rule. Candle that makes the second higher high closes below the first higher high level. When we have these type of scenarios, that means that this part of the candle, which is the wick, is the pullback. When we have the candle that makes the second higher high closing below the first higher high level. Now, with that being said, now we understand, all right, the bullish rule of the third impulse is valid also. Therefore, we remove the bullish buy stop and the sell stop, and now we put a new buy stop and a new sell stop. Now, that's our pending orders, our new pending orders. Now, we have to see if the market respects this range or creates another internal range. So we move with the candles, goes bearish, now confirms the pullback. Another candle gets closer and closer to our sell stop level, and then finally this candle activates the bearish BOS, activating the sell stop. At this specific moment in time, we cancel the buy stop. Now we stick to the bearish idea. And now market melts all the way to the downside. We can see that that was one of the quick setups, all right, that only took like 8 minutes to go for the exit. So guys, with this being said, that was everything for today's video. All you have to understand is that you have to follow up the price action as long as the session goes on, and if the market develops internal ranges, you just have to go with it. You have to follow it up and take in consideration the new structures. That's the lesson of this trade. With this being said, remember on the description of the video, you have the link to my Instagram. You can talk to my DMs and ask if I have available spots for the private group of students when you are seeing this video. If we have, you will have access to all the intensive courses with all my strategies, to all the live analysis sessions with all my setups and all the explanations that I give live, like this specific setup every single day from Monday to Friday in Spanish and English. And also you will have access to the private app where I send all my market ideas in Forex and crypto. So with this being said, family, see you on the next videos. Let's get it.